Hey guys, Major here, and welcome to a brand new video from me. Today I want to talk about a topic that's been troubling me for quite a couple of weeks now, and that is my problem with Counter-Strike Global Offensive. Now first off I want to say, the game is fine. Like, the base game mechanics of Counter-Strike Global Offensive are brilliant, absolutely fantastic, can't fault them. Everything from the aiming to the grenades, the player movement, everything is fine. I can't fault that in any way. What I do have an issue with, however, is the player base. Now, if we think about Counter-Strike Global Offensive as to where it is in its development life cycle right now, this game came out in 2012, so it's now, it's 3 years old. It had its birthday a few weeks ago. There was a special event for that with new textures and sounds and stuff. I think they've done it for a couple of years, but this game is now 3 years old, but it's only just sort of started to become a really, properly popular competitive game. And I think this sort of started around sort of October, about a year ago now. This is when it started to become from sort of the less popular competitive video game and started to work its way up the ranks into the really popular Counter-Strike that we see today, plastered all over Twitch and YouTube. And because it started to get more publicity, the player base has increased, going from something like 4 or 5 million unique players to about 8 million unique players. And this is where the issue has become, because I think what this game has done, kind of like what other first-person shooters have done, like Battlefield, is attract the wrong sort of player. As far as I can see it, there's 3 types of players when you play this game. You've got the tryhards, who think that they're decent at the game. Maybe they are decent at the game. Maybe they've had a couple of decent games, and they just get cocky. So what they do is, at the start of the round, they'll be on the mic, which is good. You need to have good communication with your team. But they'll get on the mic at the start of the round and say, right, okay, we're going to have 3 guys go A, 2 go B, and then they won't stick to that plan, or they will die instantly, or something like that. And then they get cocky, and then they try and boss you about and tell you what to do and where to go, and then they give you some call-outs, but then you can't hear footsteps, and it just gets irritating. You could also call these people mic hoggers. Tryhards and mic hoggers, that is one type of player. The second type of player is the badmouthers. Now, what I mean by this is not people who are not necessarily bad at the game, they can be decent, but ones who just spam down the microphone insults and just spammy messages that really don't have any benefit to how you're going to perform in the game and only just sort of irritate you. And they really irritate me, these people. And then the third type of player are the properly decent players. These are the players that you get in, they give decent call-outs, they follow the strats, they let other people lead if they realise that other people are better than them, they can follow orders and play as a team. They are a valuable team member. Unfortunately though, these players are really, really hard to come by, especially when you're solo queuing. Now this issue becomes most apparent when you are solo queuing, when you go into a lobby by yourself. Now this can be avoided if you're playing a 5-man, but that's not always possible. You don't always have 5 friends who are readily available to play a 45-minute game of Counter-Strike. That's not always possible. And even if you get 3 or 4 people to play, you're still going to have that one unknown player who might not have a mic, might not be very good at the game, or might be one of the 3 mentioned players that I mentioned just earlier. So it's kind of a bit of a gamble, and you really, really don't want that when you're playing a competitive title where not only do you have your rank on the line, which yes, isn't overly important. If you lose it, it's not the end of the world, but it's still something that you've worked hard to get, and it's kind of something that matters to you personally. And this leads me into my final issue with CSGO. The big overall one is that when you combine all of these factors with just trying to get a decent game, the game can be so infuriating to the point as to where it just isn't fun anymore. And as I've mentioned before, that's exactly what I want from a video game. If I go in and want to spend 45 minutes to an hour of my day playing a video game, I want to be enjoying it and having fun. And unfortunately, because of the player base of CSGO right now, that just isn't possible all of the time. You can get the occasional decent game, I will admit, and especially if you're playing even with a couple of people, this is possible, but solo queuing in this game is just not recommended at all. Now I am still casually playing Counter-Strike, not actual casual matches. I am playing the 1 or 2 competitive game at the minute, but I'm definitely not playing as much as I was doing a couple of weeks ago where I was having 4 or 5 games a night. I might try again and see if the game improves in a couple of weeks, but for now, the game is not doing anything for me, and I'm definitely probably just going to stick to playing 1 or 2 games a night rather than the 4 or 5. But that's everything I have for this video. Let me know your opinion down below. This is something that's been niggling at me for a couple of weeks now, but I'm not entirely sure if it's just me that feels this way. Thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy, don't forget to absolutely smash that like button and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.